Hey, how's it going, everybody? Before I get started here, right off the bat, I've had this Mag 2 gun for 6 years, so it's a bit dated. And I've had people asking me, not recently, as in I don't think anybody's asked this year, but definitely last year, if I still have any of the files for patching it, updating it, whatever, as in firmware type stuff. On that, yes and no. Yes, I have it. No, I have no friggin' idea what I did with it, and it's been 6 years. I know I burned them all to a CD or something. I just don't know where I have it stashed. When it comes to having them saved on a computer, I've gone through a few computers in the last 6 years. So if it turns up, I will definitely hold on to them now. Hence, this whole thing of being able to get it to work on my retropie was just out of a whim. Figured, what the hell, man? It's considered a PS3 controller. It's detected all my other PS3 controller stuff, like my arcade stick, and then also Xbox 360 stuff, so maybe it will detect this. And holy sheep shit. Plugged it in, set into PS3 mode as in the button depressed, and it detected it. Now, on their website, hence it's changed in the last few years, is now they're working on stuff for virtual reality and PS4 and Xbox One. As they do have a new gun out, which I think I paid, I'm going to round it off at around $150 for this thing, man. It was one of those things to where it was new-ish when it came out. It looked cool as hell, and I had to have it. And I did have a problem with it at first, but I was able to fix that problem, or it just fixed itself, so I got lucky. And it's still working good as I keep mine in the original box, so it stays nice. So it's pretty much still fairly new looking. But once again, around $150. This new one, hundreds. Like probably around $400 once you get finished. It's a lot more high tech. And it looks like they got a lot of cool stuff that you can get if you have virtual reality, as in the higher end virtual reality. So for anybody that's watching this on something where you can't see the stuff I've written in, the website is www.magp90, all one word, .com. And another thing you guys might do if you really need the files and just can't find anybody that's got them, email. Just email this company and see if they can maybe send them to you if they still have them on their server. It just goes back to, man, this gun's been out for a long freaking time. So way, way discontinued. So it would have to be if they still have the files on their server or not. Otherwise, just keep checking around here on YouTube on people that may still have one. There's plenty of videos showing this thing. So, right off the bat, it's my little retropie. Here is the cube for the Mag 2 gun. Say, man, you want to have it in PS3 mode, so you want this button depressed. And for Xbox, for anybody who's got one of the guns and was able to patch it for Xbox, that's where you got to plug in a wired Xbox 360 controller into this USB port, so it detects that, and then it will detect the gun. Otherwise, the gun won't work. For PS3, this is all you need. And on it detecting it, hence when I hook up any of my other controllers, like my Mortal Kombat arcade stick for Xbox 360, it will detect it as a Mortal Kombat arcade stick. I don't know how long the list is for RetroPie on the different controllers you can use or whatever that it will detect. But on this, it detected it as something weird, but PS3 type controller nonetheless. Or maybe it detected it as a computer controller. I don't know. Either way, man, it worked. Now, on getting this puppy to work right, that's the fun part. Let's see. I think when I hooked it up originally, I plugged in the cube first, and then it detected it, and then I turned on the gun, and once this gun turned on completely, is hold down the thing, and that little blue light will go solid, hence nothing's plugged in, so it's not made a connection. Anyways, once that goes solid, it will detect this as a controller plugged in and then come up with, okay, new controller, hold down a button to configure. And that's where the fun begins, hence motion control. So it's trying to get it steady enough as I had to go back a couple times to reconfigure, as in did it wrong, so I just went back to it to where you can just choose what you want to reconfigure on buttons, and I was able to do it that way on getting the up, down, left, and right. Otherwise, this thing is so freaking sensitive. Yeah, up works, and then once you go down, I kept going down too far, and it kept selecting everything as I don't like the way they're set up, just automatically goes to the next thing. I'd rather have it to where you choose what you want to do no matter what. Otherwise, I was able to just get it set up to use the crosspad part here, but for the motion control, hence set it up for like Sega Genesis and other old school type stuff. Which comes to Sega Genesis, I didn't try it on any Genesis games, but I did try it on 32X with Space Harrier, and fun. Not perfect. It definitely takes a bit to get used to where if you get a comfy seat to where you can really get nice and precise, I could see it working better. For me, I play kind of sporadic to where I'm all over the screen, where nothing's going to get me, but I'm going to get all of you. And it seemed to work really good for that, to the point to where once the pillars were coming at me and stuff, I could navigate using the motion control to get through the pillars in Space Harrier. So precise enough. That's the game I had the most success with so far, hence I just figured this out today. On other stuff, I turn 5 years old in dyslexia this year, hence I see shit backwards, so this year all that totally freaking works for me. I could stay a man child. Anyways, had to try it out on Atari 2600. I just chose the wrong freaking game to try it out, but it was working. That was Hero, and I was able to navigate the guy around using the motion control. It's so freaking precise on movement. For anybody that's ever played Hero, when you land, if you keep pushing down, he sets the bomb, and then you got to get the hell out of the way, or boom, you're dead. I kept killing myself off. But I was eventually able to get through the mazes and navigate that way, and it worked pretty good. It's just, you got to really be steady. On other games on Atari, let's see, Battle Zone, not too bad. You're just going left and right. And one of the games that I was hoping it would work on, but man, it was awkward as hell. And that would be almost to where you'd want to customize it just for that game if you really want to use it. That was Doom on the 32X. Just having it set up for up, down, left, and right for the motion control on how you make the guy move, it was really awkward. Like forward, backward, whatever, and then you're trying to go left and right, and I was just all over the place. I couldn't control the guy good enough to navigate around. But if I had it to where it was just for rotation and then have this little cross pad like up and down for movement, oh yeah, it would definitely work. So it's doable. I just didn't do it the right way. So a lot of experimentation on certain games, on other emulators. That's where I didn't realize that I would have to have it set up on the motion control with one of the thumbsticks, as it set it up that way. That was playing Neo Geo, and I was just doing a shooter type game, straight up and down type shooter. And nah, I could shoot, but I couldn't move around because wrong thing. But I could see it being doable if I just set it up for that emulator. Which on this one, the memory stick that I'm using, or just stick drive, whatever the hell you want to call it, doesn't have as much space. I think this one's, let's see, it's 8 gig. Yeah, this one's 8 gig. So once you get the operating system on there and a few emulators, man, it fills up fast. So I've got only around 5 emulators. Now the one out in my side room where I've got it hooked up to my arcade cabinet, hence my new MAME system, that I've got a whole bunch of emulators, and I had a buttload of games, but now it's a shit ton because the shit ton is bigger than a freaking buttload. Man, I quit counting. I've gotten past the 10,000s mark. It's old school, man. Got a lot of stuff for old school computers and whatnot, to where the ROMs just go on and on and on and on, because I want to be that little bastard that goes to Toys R Us, looks in the game section, and says, okay, I'll take it. So on that, plenty of different emulators to give this thing a try on. Which I'm hoping, like PS1, a lot of good light gun games on PS1, let alone first-person shooters that I'd love to try this on. Especially like freaking Alien Resurrection, which I think that I'd have to probably set it as a stick. I don't know if you can use the cross pad on that game or not. But definitely Alien Trilogy, Power Slave, the Duke Nukem games, man. It ought to be badass, I hope. It's just I'd have to custom configure it for that. Which, once you find an easy way to do it, cool enough, man. Otherwise, one more system, if you want to call this a game system, Instant plays games, so I consider it a system now. Even that I put all the stuff on it. Just one more thing this works on. Just not the best. It's, goes back, you're hooking it up to something that wasn't meant to be, so let's leave it at that. Otherwise, I'd really like to do a gameplay video for you guys, but I just can't do it. I might be able to do it on my smartphone, but it would be a short video. It would just be showing the hookup, showing it working, and that's it, man. Not just going through each emulator, which is what I'd like to do, is to show the ones that work the best. But I don't have that much space on my smartphone. And when it comes to any other video cameras for the computer, my Microsoft one, I'm stuck using different software to make it work. And I have this problem with the original software that came with it, that my Windows 10 computer doesn't like it, and I can't find it for my iMac here. But it always seemed to really enhance anything that's really bright. Like my light bulb there that looks like the sun, it would literally look like the sun, or look like my freaking ceiling's on fire. I mean, just amplify the hell out of anything light. So like a TV screen or whatever, it just, unless I have it pitch black in here to where that's the only thing on, and then the brightness turned way down, I can just get it enough. It's just a real pain in the butt. So not worth it to me. So only if I end up finding myself another cam for cheap that does good, that I could walk around with in here, hence room tour or whatever. That's why I haven't done any room tours in a while. I can't necessarily pick up the computer here, hence I'm using my built-in cam on my iMac and walk around in the room with the computer. A little bit hard to do, but yeah, if I ever find a nice wired one, then I'll do that. I'm really interested in seeing how that does on light gun games. May not be perfect, but if you can play them, good enough. Especially in MAME and stuff, that would be cool to play some of the light gun games in MAME, as there's some good ones. So, don't want to make too long a video here, guys. I want to be able to get it uploaded tonight, so have a good one. And if any of you guys have tried this and had more success, man, leave me a comment. It'll make me a happy guy, otherwise I may be the first one. Later.